Bang, bang. What's going on, everybody? DFS Dad's here. We got Price and myself breaking down the 3M Open up in Minnesota. Got a decent field considering it's right after the British Open or the Open or whatever it's called these days. Depends on who you ask. So Price, why don't you break down the course and then we'll get cracking into the top plays.
All right, so we are at TPC Twin Cities up in Minnesota. It's been there the last few years. It's where Wolf got his first win on the Chip-In Eagle a couple of years ago to beat Bryson and Kawa. It's a long course. All the par fives are over 550 yards. You got a bunch of par fours over 450. I think 3 of the par threes are over 200 yards. So longer hitters usually going to do well. It's a low scoring event, lots of birdies. There is a shit ton of water. I think it's like 27 different spots you can in the water. It's nuts here, but it's not really in play unless you hit like just a trash off the tee shot. So for us, we're going to focus more always on approach, off the tee, and then really it's going to come down to your putting, which it's make or break every week, but it's on bent. A lot of guys do very well on bent. It's easier to keep up north, but you're going to see mostly long hitters do well. I think there are some exceptions, obviously, if you have great iron play and get hot putting. But this is a course where you would expect the longer hitters to do very well. So diving right into it. So going from 9K up, we have a bunch of long hitters.
Yeah.
You only have like 3 who aren't considered a long hitter. So out of that range, who's your top play, Dustin?
I mean, it's hard not to just lean DJ, even though he withdrew last year, so it's kind of like, you want to trust him, but he has been playing fairly well as of late. He went through a little bit of a rough patch, but he has some pretty good finishes his last 3 events. I just think he's getting close to putting one of those together where and I feel like it could be this week where he just, wins by 10 strokes or something crazy like that. And so, I mean, I like DJ. Louis, obviously, is steady Eddie. I mean, he didn't get second. What did he end up third? So, he's usually hanging around up there. He doesn't really do anything that's going to cost him. So he's kind of a safe play. And then Finau and Reed, man, it's just, I'm looking at these top guys, and it's just hard for me to play any of them over DJ right now because none of them are necessarily playing great. Reed missed the cut, obviously, a little a-hole last week. Finau did okay. So I'm going DJ. How about you?
I'm with you. DJ's number 1 in my model, ranks out fantastic. This is a stretch where he, like the tournament before last year, he went 78, 70, 80, missed, and then like 78 first round and withdraw. Then the next week he came out and shot like 33 under. So I'm all for it. DJ's been playing better of late. There's no chance I'm touching Louis or Sergio or even Wolf. Like I don't know. I get it. Like Finau play makes sense because he's a bomber. He usually scores well, but in the top range, it's going to be DJ for me. And moving down the 9K range, there's a lot of good golfers here. I think Tringali had a top 10 here last year, but my favorite play is going to be Bubba. Bubba rates out third for me. On my rolling report, he's first. And he missed the cut here last year, but he'd been playing pretty garbage leading up to it. And this year, he's actually played very well leading up to it. Didn't play last week, so didn't have to travel to and from. And I think he's just good value at 9,100.
You don't want Grillo at 93?
No. I know you love Grillo, but I would rather play like Bubba, Cam Davis, or McIntyre.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, I like Grillo when he's, 8,100.
How crazy is that he's more expensive than Bubba?
And I don't know why. I mean, obviously he did pretty good last week. Got 12th or something like that, but he had 3 missed cuts before that. So it's like, I don't know. I mean,
what is this madness?
But yeah, so let me get over to lost my page here. So In this range, I like Bubba and I like Cam Davis would be my top two in the 9K range. I'll probably lean Davis personally. I just think he's been playing a little better form. He rates out a tad better in my model. So I'm going to lean Davis in the 9K range. But yeah, I mean, I like Grillo, but 9,300 is just kind of
It's a
a little
lot.
steep.
You like anybody in the 8K? There's a couple guys in the 8K range who I'm like, whoa. I don't know why
Yeah,
they're
so
there.
I'm going to live in the 8K range. And we kind of saw that, what was it, 2 or 3 tournaments ago where
It was 2
if you
tournaments
loaded
ago
up on the
where they all went bananas.
I feel like this is one of those because you have a lot of guys that are playing really well, like a Hank, maybe Yoda. I think he's got like 3 straight top tens, and his approach and putting have been fantastic, which is perfect for this course. Luke List rates out really well for me. He's just a terrible putter, so if you can live, if you can live with him, not putting well, which he normally doesn't. That's kind of the fire you got to play with him. Because Zaire, we've been on him lately, who I like. Bradley is another one. So this range is just chock full of guys, and I'm probably going to live here for the cash core. Maybe go DJ and get some of these lower 8 guys that I like. So the lineup construction will determine how many of these guys I play, but I feel like at least 3 of them for me.
I really like McNeely in this range personally.
Yeah, he rates out well.
Like 4 top 20s in a row, playing well. Just destroys par 5s. He's a great putter. And hopefully he's not too popular. I think he's gonna be pretty popular. I think a lot of people will shy away from Keegan after his miscut last week in Sink. Sink could be a very sneaky play. I feel like just because he just completely blew up.
Yeah.
And him being 8,700 is kind of tough.
I like both of them. I mean, so you had Sink who blew up but played really well Thursday, and then you had Keegan who he just played +1 both days. It wasn't like he was bad. He just didn't do it. His putter, I'm sure. I didn't get to watch a ton of it because of the time, but
you know who you couldn't pay me to play is Gary Woodland. No thanks. No thanks.
It's hard. I mean, he's another one that's pretty hard to play. You have Ricky Fowler hovering there at 8,900, who's kind of flashed here and there in his last few tournaments. So he's intriguing to me, more or less. I don't know if it's the name or whatever, but he had an 8th at the PGA, 11th Memorial. Then he missed the cut, and then he's had 2, average finishes. So I don't hate him here, but
how about Fratelli right there, who's missed like 8 of his last 11 cuts, and then just pops off for a 5th place last week. He's gonna be 30% owned. He bombs the shit out of the ball, but I mean that.
Yeah, I ain't touching him.
And then he's 100. Then Lebiota, I think, is going to be the highest owned player this week.
He's got to be. I mean, just based on recent form and how the course is and how he's been playing. Yeah, I for sure think he's going to be up
I would
there.
rather pivot down to Kirk, though, personally. I feel like he's just as good as Lebiota. Lebiota just had a little hot streak.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think for me in a cash, I'm gonna go with Hank over him. But in like a GPP or single, I think most people click Lebiota, even though Kirk's just as capable of a golfer, if not, better. So I agree with you there on that.
And then my favorite play in the entire 7K range is our boy Mito. We use him 2 of the 3 weeks he's available. He missed a cut the first time. We went right back to him. I think he finished 5th last week at the Barbasol.
Yeah, thanks.
And 34th at the John Deere.
Yeah, so I think he's kind of one of those where he's got a couple of the actual PGA. I mean, obviously Korn Ferry, but these actual PGA events.
But someone like him, like an event like this is where he should do well because it's a low scoring, attack the pin. You got to, get to 15, 18 under to compete. And that's what a lot of the Corn Ferry Tour events are. He's going to be very popular, but I really like him. And Joseph Bramlett down at 7,000 rates out really well for me. He's just god awful putting, but that dude can hit a fucking mile. And whenever he gets the putter actually going, we saw a few weeks ago where he finished, I think, 25th at the Palmetto. Yeah. And then he got a 7 at the Byron Nelson. So he does miss a lot of cuts, but he's a fantastic GPP play because when he gets going, he gets going.
And I'm all in, and you skipped over him. I don't know because you knew I was going to say him, but Yanni Vegas. Dude is cheap this week for.
I know. It makes no sense.
At 9,300, and Vegas has been playing circles around him for the past 8 tournaments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 straight made cuts, has 3 top 11s in there, and this course just fits him really well. His worst thing is obviously his putting and around the green. Well, around the green doesn't really matter this week, and he gained 3.2 strokes at the John Deere putting. So you got that going. His approach game has been on point for the last 3 tournaments, and then we obviously know he can knock the sleeve off the ball. So, I mean, I don't know how you don't play him at 7,500.
Especially because, like, he should be more expensive than some of these guys.
Oh, yeah, he should.
Just doesn't make sense why he's not.
No, I have no idea, but I'm going to be playing a lot of it. So, he's my favorite play. And he ranked 2nd in my model, so it's kind of like, duh.
Yeah.
I like Stanley here too. I know he's a guy that we've been kind of on and off. I think Chris really likes him. He probably is
because he feels like they're similar. They can hit the ball decent. They just can't fucking putt.
Yeah, and his approach has been really well. He's getting 4.4 over his last 5. Really good tee to green. So he's another guy that's cheap down there. He's made 6 straight cuts, 7 straight cuts. So just a lot of good things coming in that that you can do a lot worse at that price range.
Yeah, I think that this is obviously gonna be where we get more into it on through the rest of the week, but there's a lot of solid plays here, like Stallings, who hits it pretty far, rates out decent. Even
Pat Perez.
Yeah, I don't know. Pat Perez, he pissed me off. That
I know he's fire nice.
Then you love him when you love him. The 6K ranges is going to be dicey this week. This is where if you want to use like a DJ and then like a Cam Davis or Bubba, you're going to have to drop into the 6K range. And it's
our guys down there still Sloan.
I know. I think he did.
Volatile.
I really like Kevin Tway this week.
You made fun of him in our Discord a couple weeks ago, and then he popped off, I think.
Like no, because he was lurking, and someone was like, "Who's going to win?" And I said, "Probably some fuck like Kevin Tway is going to pop off and win." And he finished 14th.
The next week, he like popped off for a real low round or something.
So he has 3 straight top 26s. So he never really gains a bunch of strokes on approach. It's mostly putter. And last week it was the opposite, where he broke even putting and gained 2 strokes on approach, whereas the weeks before he gained 4 and almost 5 strokes putting. So if he can kind of blend that, do decent with his irons, he's long off the tee. So you get him to fucking pound it down there and get on there and actually make some putts. At 6,600, it's going to be pretty easy for him to hit value.
Yeah, I don't mind that. What about your boy Satoshi?
No.
Like him this week?
No. So I'm like, this is where it could be bad for me. Where I like Tway, I like MJ Defoe, Wes Roach, and then God, what's it? I lost him. Eckroat. I think that's how you say his name. He's like 6,500. I believe.
Yeah, I would. I'd say I'm bad. I'm terrible with names.
But he's another guy who just pounds the shit out of the ball, and he's done decent, all things considered. I think he's made like 5 to 7 cuts on tour.
You know, it's funny. Before I was just looking. Guess how many straight cuts Nick Watney missed before his last two?
Oh, dude, I think I heard he's only made like 3 cuts in the last calendar year.
Bro, he had missed 18 straight cuts, and he's made the last 2 cuts. But before that, 18 straight. I was like, oh my lord, that's terrible. But he's on a 2-week heater, man. You want to play him at 6K? Nobody else will.
No. I think the cheapest I'll go is Wes Roach at 6,300. He's made 7 straight cuts. I mean, they're not great. He had a 13th at the Puerto Rico Open, but you get someone 6,300 who makes a cut for you. That's pretty big.
Yeah, this is one of those tournaments where there's going to be 1 or 2 guys that are going to do that down here. You know, last year you had Robbie Shelton pop off for a 3rd or 4th. Somebody else, I think. No, yeah. Oh, Nick Watney got 12th. That's why I looked at him.
Yeah,
that was like his last tournament that he made a cut at almost. And so, you know, somebody like that misses 18 straight cuts and gets 12. Like,
makes no sense. But that's golf, you know.
Yep.
I think the other person to look at would be Keith Mitchell at 6,800.
Yeah, I had him on mine to look at.
He's just hard to. These fools are hard to click.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta. I mean, that's the thing is when you do, you gotta. It's got to be. Hopefully, it's their week type of deal, or you know, at least they make the cut at the very least. Because if they're 6K in this type of event, you know, they're usually gonna be pretty damn risky. So that's the risk you got to take. You know, single entries and things of that nature. You got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes.
Yes, sir.
As cash, my cash core will not be coming down here. That's for sure.
No. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for the week. We'll get everything else out to you guys. Follow Dustin on the socials, you know.
Yeah, my socials. Price is losing like 30 pounds already, so we might get some shirtless pictures of him. DFS dad bods.
Ugh.
In the next couple months.
No. This shit's miserable. Ground turkey and rice cauliflower every day. I just want a pizza and a fucking breakfast burrito.
But yeah, guys, come check us out, dfsdads.com and our socials, DFS Dads. See ya next week.